lotion, not even sweet soap. Skin just tough and dry, just like the cow rope. Alright. Hail. Hail to all. I hope all is well. I hope all is having a good day and a good night. And you know who it is? Back at you again. You know this is your guy, Creative Humble, here again. And this will be log 12. Let me fix this camera. Yes, this will be log 12. As you can see me with my shirt, BX and all of that, the 5 boroughs, yeah, just a regular shirt. It's raining today. I think a storm is passing by. Normally, when these things happen, my thoughts has always been the same. I think it's a city, a floating city passing by, overhead, or it's just the government causing it, or it could just be the earth going through its motion. However, there are floating cities because I've seen it and experienced it for myself, that there's just one area, there's rain, and the is thundering, is going crazy, and then it pass and go all the way down to the other county, and it's like, wow. So from a very young age, I used to just look in the sky at these clouds, like there must be like a floating city, a city above. They talk about this a lot in many mythologies, Olympus, the floating cities and whatever names they might give it. And it's an interesting thing, but it's crazy right now. Yeah, they utilize a lot of weapons out here to just hit you with a storm or an earthquake. We know that they do have weapons like the HARP project, the Noah project, and they're utilizing rays from the sun to bounce off a satellite and then hit us on the earth. Those are energy beam weapons. There's many things. There even, there's things in the food that's been changing us, changing the whole chemical output, and the food has been changing us gradually. We see how people have a lot of negative reaction towards it. It's just within our system. And when I say the system, this is a global thing. It's the system, the whole thing. These are the things we have to face on a regular basis. You see how they will just cut your water off or your light off or your food, and they will basically put you in a world in which you are dependent on a system that doesn't really care for you, and you have leaders that you utilize that system to perpetuate slavery and keep you in bondage. That way you have to go outsource, you have to go somewhere else just to get a little nibble, and you have to lay with others, and you have to sell your body and your children and your whole family just to get some material possessions, and how they want to utilize your body and mutilate you, and how a lot of the women's and the men's are going through a lot of abuse, and how you have to go to other people and they shit on you. They have children with you so they can basically usurp your land. A lot of people are straw people. They are just buffers. They come in, they mate with you so they can basically take what you have. It's a regular story. Ultimately, we don't need anything from any system. Self-governance is the best thing. However, those that are in power or perceived power, people that own the banks, even this platform that I'm on, people that are, owners of the web, the global web, and all of these things, they try to give us the latest technology, the latest things to keep us in this type of reality. So that way, we're just going to be, we run down glamour. Anytime we see glamour, we just think that we must attain it. We want to attain fame. We want to attain wealth. This is the distraction, the illusion of glamour, because they will come with a new phone, the new game, the new Oculus, the new hair, the new car, new house, smart technology. It's all foolery. It's all bullshit. It's just ultimately there to just make you stupid. It basically, they're capitalizing on your what's the word? Your ways. The fact that you have become accustomed to this reality. You have become accustomed to a phone. You have become accustomed to likes. You have become accustomed to the latest technology. Okay, you have become accustomed to things that you don't need. And that's how they got us. So ultimately, they don't have anything to offer but the next distraction, and that same distraction is killing you because you think that, oh, I'm only worrying about, I'll worry about the future. But the problem is, the future is now. The future is today and tomorrow. The future is not going to be, oh, 5, 10 years from now. No, you're alive now. So you must be concerned with the now. This is your future. This is your future, right? So, many say love is a fire. The secret fire is the higher consciousness. Understand? The secret fire is the higher consciousness. It represents enlightenment from the gods, or God, or whatever you want to call it. Ultimately, always stay ready so you don't have to get ready. If you're ready, you don't have to worry about getting ready. And you don't have to succumb to the ways of the world in terms of you want the new this and that. Don't forget the teachings that you are aware of before the Western or Eastern brainwashing education, or Southern or Northern brainwashing education. Keep it in mind. Your creative aspects, that's what's gonna get you through the day and through this life. That's how it works. Ultimately, as I said, the system have nothing to offer you. You have everything to offer to the system. If you step back, you will see your power. Reclaim your power. It's within you. I'm going to be reading from this book, The Emerald Tablets, Alchemy for Personal Transformation. This is an interesting one. I'm just going to read just a quick page, a few paragraphs of it. And this one is titled "How to Quicken Your Soul." This ain't too bad. How to quicken your soul. You know what I mean? So, okay. The alchemists associated the secret fire with the process of fermentation, in which new life is brought to die, decaying matter. This state of inspiration and living imagination is achieved by removing the earth from the fire of consciousness. Yes, most of us, I would say all of us, we are too earthbound. We are just so bound by this earth. I heard something that the gods above look down to us and say they're the ones, we're the gods. And then we from down here look above and say, yes, we want to be them like the gods above. So eventually we have to detach ourselves from this earth. However, let me not, So as it said, you must by removing the earth from the fire of consciousness. Yeah, that's a lot. By separating the subtle forms, the grass, gently and with great ingenuity, this unassuming phase has been translated in more ways than any other. Okay? Part of the tablet, some version interpret this as act prudently with good judgment. As I said, always act good with judgment, It's a criminal world. Act accordingly. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Alrighty, where is it now? While others say it means suavely, using great skill. Suave. So you gotta suavely use the great skills. However, the original Arabic and Latin words suggest that gently refer to a philosophical or mental task as opposed to the physical skill. Really? While ingenuity is meant in the original sense of inspired by genius or infused with spirit. I like that. I like the philosophical part of that. Okay, inspired by genius or infused with spirit. Yes, the spirits. Yeah. Therefore, the intended meaning is that we enter the quiet realm of the mind in meditation You always need your time. And I think a lot of people are separating themselves because they are reclaiming their power. They need this quiet time to really analyze how their life was, the things they have been through, and the things that they're going through now. So a lot of people need that quiet time, that seclusion to really like tap in like who are you? Who is this person? You know? So it's always good to just tap in and just, dive into yourself to see where you stand. Okay, let me continue. Okay. Alrighty. So you need a quiet realm of the mind in meditation, and you gotta seek to connect with the greater mind. Yeah, seek to connect with the greater mind or the source of higher inspiration, which is your God or whatever you call it, to quicken and transform our being. Yes, you must tap into that source. It helps a lot. By you tapping into that source, that God or whatever you want to call it, it helps because that's your therapy. You need your therapy. You must tap in. You must. It helps a lot. That way you won't succumb to all of these things that they have out here to distract us, because that's all they're doing. They're distractors. They're just distracting us. The alchemist the alchemist thought of this process as a kind of a fermentation. Those who know fermentation, they know what that is, which is a biological reaction in which organic material is spiritualized. Okay? Okay, hear what it says? Fermentation, which is a biological reaction in which organic material is spiritualized. To spiritualize in alchemy is to introduce a outside energy or life force. You need that. As I said, the higher mind, the source, the higher source. Spiritualize yourself. Okay. Okay, so you need a life force to a substance. A lot of people are actually consuming our substance right now. I'll dive into that once I'm finished with this. Spiritualization can take the form of an actual rising, as such as that caused by the action of yeast in bread. Yeah, if you making bread, you need some yeast, some powder, baking powder, or alcohol. Or it can be expressed as the creation of alcoholic spirits. Yes, alcoholic spirits, such as the production of wine from the grape juice, the curdling of milk by bacteria in another example. In all these types of fermentation, an outside life force has been introduced which excites, agitate, and transform the original matter. In fact, the word ferment is derived from the Latin word, what's this? Fervere, which means to sieve or to boil. Yes. However, before fermentation can take place, another less agreeable process must occur. It is natural. It is the natural precursor to fermentation. Let's see. The black stage of petrification, in which organic matter decompose through rotting and internal digestion. In spiritual terms, this is the black night of the soul. Say, yeah, you must go through this. You must go through this, the black night of the soul. Whether through the natural calamities and disappointment of just being alive, or through deliberate alchemic transformation, we all reach a point at which we have had enough and must surrender to outside forces. Now, no doubt, this is always the case. That's good. Nothing's wrong with that. However, don't forget, you can be used and manipulated. Hence, why you have a lot of outside forces that's coming into your community, into your country, into your thoughts. And they're coming in to colonize your thoughts. They're coming in to take what you have And that's just how it is. You know what I mean? Because they see that, okay, you're down. You're looking for something else to captivate you. Due to the fact that you haven't tapped into yourself, you're looking for another outlet to tap into. You want to give your energy to something else. Give your energy to yourself. Tap into you so you can further evolve, further go through the stages of life to become that higher consciousness that you want to be. Hence why when people see you down, they come around you and they try to utilize and manipulate you. This is very serious. Okay, let me continue. Outside forces, right? Be aware of those. Petrification is the absolute suppression. Okay, hear that? Is the absolute suppression of the ego. Okay, so petrification is the absolute suppression of the ego. Yeah, you need to suppress that ego in order to push through things. It does help though. It does help you when it has to, no doubt. So you need a balance. An indispensable requirement for moving into higher dimensions of consciousness. Petrification is often perceived as a dark depression in which the former ruling principle of the personality must die to make room for a higher identity. Yes, as you grow older, your childlike ways must die to make room for basically a higher identity, which is your adult phase. However, within your adult phase, that also needs to die to make room for a higher consciousness. Very much so. The alchemist must forbear doing this uncomfortable phase of losing identity, of lost identity. While the base element within the transmute into a nobler element. Okay, so the element must be transmute into a noble element. What happened during the fertile blackness of petrification is that the male solar energy is eclipsed by the lunar female subconsciousness and expressed as that is expressed as moodiness or depression. Most people that's going through this, they're going through a phase. You must go through the phase. Do not hold on to it. Just go through it. You must go through these things. Let it pass. Do not hold on to it. Let it pass. That's how you come out on the other side. Okay? So as long as the black stage is manifest, the dark woman prevails. Note, okay, so the dark woman prevails. And that is the first strength of our stone. So it must prevail. Because releasing subtle female energies give new power to the adept. The alchemists view petrification as a type of spiritual conception and eagerly look into the milkish liquid that formed a blackened decay matter for any sign of color, of new hope. That's the color. It's for new hope. The philosophical petrification is nothing but the corruption or destruction of the bodies. It's the destruction of bodies. All right? For as soon as one form has been destroyed, nature introduce another form in its stead. So once it's gone, another one is replaced. Nature will always replace it, which is both better and more subtle. The blessed signal that petrification is over is known as the peacock's tail. Okay, that's when you know it's over. A rainbow display of brilliant colors that appear to float on the surface of the decaying matter, like a peacock spreading its tail. For the practicing alchemist, It was the long-awaited indication that the divinely inspired process of fermentation has begun. Psychologically, the peacock symbolized the appearance of true imagination or inspiration during meditation. That's not too bad. There's a lot about it in here. So do your self therapy. If you really want to dive into yourself, you should. It really helps a lot. It really does. And ultimately, you're your own therapist. You need to talk to yourself or talk to somebody close to you. Do that. That helps a lot. Listen, you have to realize you cannot just stick to one thing. You could read this, you could say your ideology of this and your philosopher, spiritualist, whatever you call it, a Buddhist, who cares? Ultimately, you have to study all of these things. The reason why you feel the way you feel, and know that by you studying all of these things, those feelings might even come back, and it definitely probably will. These are stages. You must get a grasp on the things within life. You have to know mathematics. You have to be aware of astronomy, astrology. You have to know the rocks, the minerals. You have to know this religion, this ideology, this sect, this occult, this esoteric form. You must learn it all. You cannot just stick to one and think that, oh, this is it. And the thing is, within that one you're sticking to, you haven't even dived deep enough. You don't even know it to the full extent. And that is the problem. You must tap into other avenues. Ultimately, it is parallel to what you already know. And it's good for you to tap into it so you can see it. It's also good for yourself. What it does, it invokes a energy. It basically turns on your subconsciousness, your spirit, your soul, if you want to call it that. And it activates you and you can push on you. We got a dog next door. And these are the things, you're probably outside. These are the things you gotta get into. Like, don't just study one thing. You must know it all, because whenever you go somewhere and you have somebody speaking, I guarantee you that person is aware of many things, many things. And also be aware when somebody say, oh, don't look into that, don't try to learn that. You should really question that person, because even though they're telling you don't look into it, don't study it, they are studying it. They are using what you think they're not using. Understand? So when a person say, oh, don't dive into your black magic, oh, they're playing you because they're studying you. Ultimately, that's what people do. They study each other and they try to find new ways of how to cope with this reality. Right now, we see a lot of people right now going through a lot of things. A lot of people, like in this society, regardless of their color, they feel that they have been abandoned. They have been used by the same system that they have been protecting. These people are guard dogs for the system. They help to perpetuate the common slavery of all people, even themselves. And when they cannot have their way, they complain. You were doing it good so much. What happened? And you have people as well that will like, oh, I was in the industry, I was in the business. No doubt you were. And you were helping. You were a part of it. You were a part of the wickedness. Now you want to come on the other side saying, no, it was wrong. However, you have benefited. You have benefit from all of these terrible tragic things. And now you want to come and say, yes, I want to reclaim myself. I want to reclaim this. Yeah, you can. However, you are already stained. You already did the do's. You already messed up a lot of people's life. And now you want to ask for forgiveness, which is good. You can forgive yourself. However, there's no forgiveness in this world. So you should forgive yourself, but you will never get any type of forgiveness from others. And when you love somebody, you got to realize you're loving that person for yourself, because that's very important. Because the heart opens so much. The heart opens you for higher consciousness. And you need to do that. And ultimately, this is why marriage is important. You need somebody that's going to be there for you, because it's more than sex. It's more than physical intimacy. It's beyond such things. You get to grow and pass on. Just be strong out there, stay vigilant. Stay vigilant. And be careful of the things you eat and the things you drink. Before you drink water, try and put some lime in it, even though it's not going to really do too much, but hey, it helps a lot. And if you want to quicken the soul, tap into yourself. This will help. That energy that you have, it will basically disengage. It will deactivate a lot of things. That's why. You turn that energy on, it will deactivate things. You could even go under a machine, any type of, you're going into an airport. It just disarm these things because your energy is strong. Tap into yourself. It's needed. It's an interesting protective barrier. Okay. And yeah, just stay motivated, and don't try to sell yourself short for a meager change, because ultimately when somebody come and offer you something, they want to see if you're gonna bite, and then they're gonna lower your price, and they're gonna see that, oh, they can get away with anything and they can do anything. That's why you see a lot of things going on. Like, do you know the person you're with? Do you know who they are? Are you aware? Or are you just chasing some material wealth and you're willing to endure anything just so you can be comfortable materialistically? However, you're not comfortable in your mind. Your demons, your emotions are all over the place. You must learn to control those things. You must learn to tap in it. You can be a part of a community of whatever. However, it's about you tapping in, healing yourself. You must heal yourself. Nobody in the world can heal you but you. Well, this is your guy, Creative Humble, coming back to you again. As I said, stay active. Stay active out there. Stay vigilant. You know what I mean? And just keep on being you. And give thanks to you as you continue through this day. Give thanks to you. You're the one. Okay? You are the one that makes life what it is. And that's how it will be. Okay? So be strong. And the next time.